In this video, we're going to have a look at how to simplify algebraic expressions involving both multiplying and dividing. So the 4 general steps I recommend you follow is rewrite the expression as a fraction and add in any missing multiplication signs between your coefficient and your variables. Second step is to cancel any common factors in the numerator or the denominator. And then after you've cancelled all your common factors, step 3 is to multiply what is left in the numerator, and step 4 is multiply what is left in the denominator. Following these 4 steps will help you to simplify algebraic expressions involving both multiplication and division. So let's have a look at a couple of examples. So in the first example, I want to simplify 2a squared times a to the power of 5 divided by 4a to the power of 3. So my first step is going to be rewrite as a fraction, adding in any missing multiplication signs. So that is going to become 2 times a squared times by a to the power of 5 divided by 4 times a to the power of 3. Now the next step is to go through and cancel any common factors between my numerator and my denominator. So first looking at the numbers 2 and 4, and I've got a common factor of 2. So I can divide both numbers by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1, and 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2. So now I can have a look at my a's. And I've got a to the power of 2, and an a to the power of 5 up the top, and an a to the power of 3 down the bottom in the denominator. Now I can use the second index law and apply the second index law to a to the power of 3 and a to the power of 5. So I can cancel out the a to the power of 3 down the bottom, and then that is going to become a to the power of 2, which is 5 minus 3. So now that I've cancelled out all my common factors, I can go ahead and multiply what is left in my numerator. So that's going to be a squared times a squared. So that is going to be a to the power of 4 using my first index law, where I add my indices together when I multiply, divided by 2 times 1 is equal to 2. So 2a squared times by a to the power of 5 divided by 4a to the power of 3 simplifies to a to the power of 4 divided by 2. In the second example, I want to simplify the expression 8p to the power of 12 times 3pq to the power of 5 divided by 2q to the power of 4 times 8p to the power of 8. Now the first step is I want to go through and add in all of my multiplication signs that are missing. So 8 times p to the power of 12 times by 3 times by p times by q to the power of 5, and that is going to be divided by 2 times q to the power of 4 times by 8 times p to the power of 8. Now my next step is to go through and cancel any common factors in my numerator and my denominator. So having a look at my numbers, I've got an 8 in my numerator and an 8 in the denominator. So I can start by cancelling both of those out and replacing them with a 1. Now that leaves me with a 3 and a 2, which I can't do anything with. So I can move on and have a look at my variables. And I've got p's and I've got q's. So I need to go and have a look and see if I can cancel any p's and q's. So up the top, I've got a p to the power of 12, and down the bottom I've got a p to the power of 8. Now using the second index law, I can cancel out the p to the power of 8 down the bottom, and then subtract the 8 from the 12 up the top to make that 4. So that becomes p to the power of 4. And I've also got a q to the power of 4 in my denominator, and a q to the power of 5 in my numerator. So I can go ahead again, use the second index law to cross out q to the power of 4 down the bottom and replace it with a 1. Then subtract the 4 from the 5 up the top and replace that with a 1. So I'm subtracting 5 minus 4 is equal to 1. So that becomes q to the power of 1. Now that I've gone through and cancelled everything in my numerator and denominator, I can go ahead and multiply what is left in my numerator. So starting with my numbers, 1 times 3 is equal to 3. So that's going to be 3 times, and then p to the power of 4 times p. Using the first index law is going to become p to the power of 5 times by q to the power of 1, or times by q. Then I need to do the same with my denominator. So that's going to be divided by 2 times 1 is 2. So, and that is all that's left in my denominator is 2. So I can go and rewrite that with my multiplication signs. So there's going to be 3p to the power of 5q over 2. So my simplified answer is 3p to the power of 5q divided by 2.